been opening all these toys? It's been Tommy Purr all along. Who's been flirting with all these boys? It's been Tommy Purr all along. He's insatiable, so damn adorable. Bet you never ever noticed he's so full of. It's too late and it's too bad. You better call your mom and dad. He's the evil queen. It's the evil queen. It's been Tommy Purr all along. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Tommy Purr with another edition of Tommy Likes It, the talk show where I talk about toys that interest me and toys that I hope interest you. And today we have on the show Mattel's WWE Elite Collection Series 82 Alexa Bliss. That's right, the goddess is here on Tommy Likes It. And this figure is really awesome. I believe it's the 4th or 5th Elite figure for Alexa Bliss. I want to say it's the 4th one. She is a former Raw Women's Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion, and Miss Money in the Bank, as well as a 2-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, and that is why this figure is so important. It's the first one to include the Women's Tag Team title, and so it makes her a hot commodity because collectors are trying to get 2 of them, so they have 2 of the belts, and they could put that with their tag teams on their shelf. It's a really, really good belt. It's a really good package. It's just what you would expect from the Elite Collection. On the side here, you have the photo of Alexa Bliss's beautiful mug. She's one of the most gorgeous women in wrestling today, so even I can appreciate her for that. On the back here, you got another photo as well as a small bio. Her finisher is called the Twisted Bliss. She stands at 5'1" inches, even though her little tagline is 5 feet of fury. Her career highlights, we already went over that. And then it says in the little bio, the goddess found an unlikely friend and tag team partner in Nikki Cross, twice winning the Women's Tag Team Championships. And also on the back here, you see the other figures in the line, which you can pick up at Rogue Toys or on our website, roguetoys.com. We have Jerry the King Lawler, which is actually a pretty good figure as well. Rob Gronkowski, who comes with a 24/7 title. John Morrison, who I have in my personal collection. Finn Balor, and Keith Lee. So let's go ahead, let's open up the figure, take a look at the articulation, details, and accessories, shall we? Alright, so we have Alexa Bliss out of the package and in my hand, and I gotta say, I like this figure a lot. Articulation's pretty solid. You have a thigh cut, you have a boot cut, you have an ankle joint there. It only goes up and down, it doesn't go from side to side, so it's not like the Hasbro ankle joints. You do have a double jointed knee, but it's a little bit hindered by the knee pad right there. You have swivel in the breastplate area, but it doesn't seem like the figure really wants to move from side to side. It just wants to go up and down and swivel around that way. So it's not too bad though. You have a bicep cut. You have an arm that can go up this high and go that far out. The arm does go all the way around, which is good. You have only a single jointed elbow because apparently you only get double jointed elbows when it's the Ultimate Collection. You do have a wrist joint going up and down and going all the way around, and you have the head joint which goes all the way around. She looks up that high, she looks down that much, not too much, so it's a bummer, but whatever, it's cool. But looking at the figure here, the legs go out this far. That's what's really good about the Mattel figures, is that the women usually do a lot of splits and high kicks, so the legs can usually go up pretty high, which is good. Not always though, sometimes they're kind of hindered. Now, looking at the figure's paint, the figure on the front looks good. The paint looks really well done. All of this is molding and tooling. It's not just painted on, so all of this stuff is part of the mold, which is good. But the same cannot be said for the belt, which is, it feels kind of lazy at this point. Also, what feels really lazy is the back of the boots. She has these laces, and they're painted on really sloppy, really just shoddy. slapdash. It just looks really effing ugly, guys. I hate that. That markdown. The ponytail, I feel like that ponytail should be longer. I don't know. For some reason, her hair always looks longer on television. I don't know how I feel about that. It's kind of a nitpicky thing, but doesn't feel too accurate to me. I do love these hands, though. This is the first time we're getting these molding for these hands. They do have, the gloves are molded on, so they're not just painted on. The skeletal parts are painted on, though. And it's just really cool to have her be able to do her pose like this, which is one of her signatures. And it's really cool just to add something different finally to the figure, because it's a nice slapping hand, and it's a nice hand that you can use to do some really cool gestures for like photos and things like that. The face is really good. I feel like this one is the best at depicting her face. The others have been kind of iffy, but this one I feel is the best at getting her likeness. And let's take a look at her accessories. You got the standard grippy hands, and the fingernail, or the thumbnail is painted, but the fingernails are not, which just screams lazy. I could do it myself, but if I'm paying this money for the figure, why is it not done for me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, her thumbnail is painted, but not her actual fingernails. And then the best thing about the figure is, of course, the Women's Tag Team Championships. So there you go. Or Tag Team Championship. It's only one. And there you go. It's nice and metallic and shiny. Looks really good. And a good thing to note about this particular belt is that you can see there it says Women's. But the first wave of this figure had the belt say Wimeh. It wasn't Women's, it was Wimeh. M-E-H apostrophe S. So thankfully they fixed it. They reprinted them on the second wave. So there we go. That's good. I'm glad that I got a good one. Ah, there we go. Beautiful. My complaint about all the Alexa Bliss Elite figures is that her torso seems just a little bit too long. She's short. She's 5'1", and so the long torso makes her look taller. And it always helps that she always has something wrapped around her waist to kind of make her waist look a little shorter, you know, her abdomen a little shorter. That's always been my gripe about the wrestling figures. All the wrestling figures is the scaling is just all over the place half the time. But where does the goddess rank on the 1 to 10 perfect scale? On a scale of 1 to a perfect 10? I would say, given the fact that, again, the torso is a bit long on Miss Bliss, given the fact that there's still no molding on the actual hip where her belt is and her studs, given the fact that she has this ugly ass painting on the back of her kick pads, let's say, I would wager that this is probably an 8 for me. And it's also an 8 because you can see kind of in the light here, right? The top of her thigh is a different shade compared to the rest of her leg. So clearly this was molded in the color that they wanted, and this was molded in the color black, and they painted the skin tone on there. And it's slightly darker than the rest of the thigh. Which has been a noticeable thing on some of the other female figures as well. So for me, that is, even though I'm not going to really show her from the back there where you can see her laces, it still bothers me that they just kind of like slapdash that on. It almost looks like my nephew painted it, and he's not even 3 yet. So yeah, it's an 8 for me. I still like the figure. I think this is a great likeness for Alexa Bliss, and she's one of my favorites, and I do love the gloves and the belt. But compared to her first Elite, which had a Harley Quinn styled attire, I think this one could have been given the same amount of attention. And also, she always wears pretty colorful kick pads. And it looks like just the lower half of the body they just forgot about. You know what I'm saying? It might be historically accurate, but it just seems kind of phoned in to me. And that's where we leave it for today. I hope this has helped you determine if you want to add Series 82 Alexa Bliss to your collection. If not for any other reason than just to get the belts. Thank you guys for tuning in, and stay tuned to see where you can follow me on social media and for updates about our Facebook Live claim show. Be sure to also check out the Rogue Toys Facebook page and tune in every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to check out the Facebook Live Claim Show starring the toy experts Crystal and Steve. And finally, follow me on social media. You can find me on Twitter at rareform, RAWR_form. You can find me on Instagram at _man_diva. You can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/officiallyperfect. And if you'd also like to purchase Tommy Purr merchandise, check out my store on storefrontier.com/merchandise. And once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it. Be sure to stay catty, and we'll see you next Tuesday.